Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you on a journey through my House of Matriarch fragrance collection. I'm going to share with you every fragrance I have in the collection, my favorites, and just kind of talk to you a little bit about why I love this house so much. So let's get into it. Now, I've spent thousands of dollars on these fragrances, and Christie's amazing rewards program definitely has helped. I do take advantage of that all the time. Christy is somebody that I've collaborated with. She actually, based off of a Facebook post I posted a few years ago, she created it inspired by, I did have some influence, some input in it. That was really cool. And over the course of the journey of my family's health, she's been one of the people in the fragrance community that's really just been super generous, reached out and just been kind of like a bright light. There's some other people too that have been really wonderful, but she is probably the one that's been the most wonderful. So she, over the course of me purchasing these fragrances, just talking to her, interacting with her, she's always just loves talking about fragrance. She's such a kind soul, and she's become a friend, like a true friend. So I, from the bottom of my heart, love this woman and respect this woman, and I also truly love her artistry, which is why I've spent thousands of dollars on her stuff. So just kind of like to put that out there. So I do have a lot of fragrances from her. I'm going to go through them and tell you why I love them so much. So let's get into the video, shall we? So I have 24 bottles, and I think about, I don't know how many backup bottles I have of certain fragrances, but I do have some backup bottles too. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I have some, mostly they're full-size bottles or the 50 ml bottles. I do have some travel sizes as well. So I have them kind of separated into the ones that I'm super in love with and I kind of want to talk more about, so I can devote the first part of the video to those, and then the last ones I'm just kind of go through and let you know what I think. So the first one we're going to talk about is obviously She. If you guys don't know, She is the collaboration that Christy and I had. I made a Facebook post, I think during Hurricane Irma, and I was like, why isn't there more oud and citrus combos? I love that. And she had actually reached out and was kind of mentioning how she would do it, and she sent me a message and she's like, let's do it. So we worked on this for a few months. She definitely asked me my favorite notes, how I'd like it to be, and those were inspiration for her. It wasn't use these notes, and then she, back and forth just a little bit, came out with She. So I did the art for it, and we just kind of came out with this, and I'm super proud of it. I love it so much. It's everything I've wanted and more out of this scent, and I just love wearing it. I'm just entranced with it. And a lot of people ask, why is She lowercase? And I mentioned it before, we wanted it to be humble. So that's why She is lowercase. That's a very specific reason why it's lowercase. It's a humble She. So the next one is probably one of my favorite gourmand scents ever, and it's Coco Blanc. And this fragrance made me fall in love with her vanilla, which was a huge, I really wanted the vanilla to be very prominent in She, but not overshadow the lemongrass or the oud. And this scent is just gorgeous with white chocolate and chai spices. It smells so sexy on the skin. It is so beautiful. I love it. Love it. I'm looking at the fragrance to see how much I have in there. It's such a beautiful scent, and it smells gorgeous on the skin, super yummy, super delicious. A beautiful interpretation of a gourmand scent, and probably one of my favorite chocolate fragrances out there. Then we have the Longing. This is so amazing. Now I love Sacre Noir as well, but I wanted to choose only one of these to talk about, and I think the Longing is one of the fragrances that has a cult following amongst your scents, and it's really easy to smell why. That just plum note in there, it's this really delicious kind of deep, sensual, mysterious sexiness that this fragrance has. It's just very mouth-watering. It's very delicious. It's very beautiful. So this one, and I don't know if I talked to you guys about this. This is La Arrivée. I probably mispronounced it. This is her jasmine. It's a beautiful jasmine. I love this scent, but actually when we were creating She sent me a lot of different components to try so I could smell the ingredients in their raw form, and she sent me Lapsang Souchong, which if you guys don't know, when I do my tea video, guys, it's coming. It takes a lot of work for those videos. I would actually put the Lapsang Souchong and wear it over this. So freakishly beautiful. If it had a chocolate note in there, like a chocolate Lapsang Souchong jasmine, I'm like sold. Sold. It's so good. But this one is just beautiful. If you like white florals, but you want like a creamy white floral, I don't know the word I said, not the right word. This is beautiful. Has a lot of deep integrity to it, like a lot of depth. It smells a little bit resinous, and the white floral is creamy, but it's not milky. It's not an indolic white floral, it's just a very deep floral note that is definitively jasmine, and it is so gorgeous. Now another one, which I would say is the first real fragrance that was kind of the gateway for me for this house, is Madrona. Now Lola's Scents was so sweet, and she actually sent me a bunch of samples of House of Matriarch, and that was my first kind of introduction to this house, and I did a fragrance first impression of Madrona, and I loved it. And so I actually bought a few fragrances from Nordstrom, and one of them was Madrona, and I loved it. Absolutely loved this fragrance. And it is such a beautiful masculine, and I don't mean like masculine like it smells manly, but like the lavender in here smells woody and aromatic, and a lot of times that idea of a scent is very much attributed to masculine fragrances, but fragrances are genderless. But there's just this scent smells like you're walking through these like damp woods, like these deep dark forests, and then there's this like clearing, and there's just lavender there, and it's brisk and it's cool and it's very aromatic. That's what this smells like, and it's just one of my favorites. And it's, again, my gateway fragrance to House of Matriarch. Love it. And then this one, Forbidden. This one is so dang interesting because there are so many different things in this scent. There are so many things that you think, why? And then you smell it and you're like, oh. So I like to describe this scent as like a mushroomy white floral. The tuberose in here is overtly ripe, overtly indolic, like the leaves are practically brown and slimy. But that scent is just intoxicating. Like it smells like, I don't know, it's just hard to describe, but it's so good. So it's challenging scent. Some of her scents are very challenging and, you know, very bold. And there's nothing wrong with challenging scents. I think that it's a very definitive point of view with her scents. You can definitely smell her signature in all of these fragrances, and this fragrance just smells like she had a good old time with this. Definitely was taking some very kind of like taboo notes and created something really beautiful and very wearable. It's a very wearable scent actually. It smells a little bit more intimidating in the bottle, but on the skin it just blooms and blossoms. Next we have Trillium, and this is a tea scent, and I love what she does with tea, and actually like talking with her and working with her on she, like being able to smell different tea notes. Like I would love to just like do like a tea party thing with her and just create like 5 different fragrances, all different teas, and just focusing on each tea because she has so many different teas. That would be so cool. But Trillium is, it's a beautiful idea of what if a tea scent was the leaves and not like a brewed interpretation of tea. There is definitely a bit of a bitterness to this fragrance, and there's a bitterness in tea scents that I think is so attractive because it reminds me of like when tea is over brewed a little bit, and it definitely just fits that kind of true interpretation of tea, and not kind of like this is how green tea fragrances should smell. And don't get me wrong, I love the way those smell, but like smelling an almost literal interpretation of something that's different and unique and special, I just absolutely love. These next two are very special to me. So Chrism was an anointing oil, and this was for my dad, but this was like so helpful and I still use it. It definitely grounds me. This next one is something that I kind of talk about. When my dad died, she actually created this for me, and it's kind of like a memoir. We call it Pistachio Memoir. We talked about my dad's favorite foods because he was a snacker. He loved food, and just this was so sweet and it was so touching. And I can't I will protect and defend this woman to the end of time. She is the most generous, sweetest, kindest soul, and just what she's done for me as a friend, and she had absolutely no reason to, just in regards of her energy, her time, her generosity has just been so touching. And I just love her. I can't even tell you how much I love her. And that was just like brought me to tears when I opened it. I was like, oh, and I smelled it and I love it so much. And I want to wear that fragrance every day, but I don't want to use through it because I'll be very sad. But she's such a sweet woman. And you know, when my baby nephew was going through it, she was kind and generous. When my family was going through this, she was kind and generous. She's just such a true soul, like to her core. And that's a fragrance that I cherish. And the anointing oil is something, you know, when my dad was sick, I would definitely use to ground me. So it definitely reminds me very much of that. Do love those very much and very touching. I have my little, what is the word for this? Travel atomizers. There we go. So this one right here is another beautiful example of just her kindness and her beautiful spirit. So when Chris, Mr. Siage, lost his life, this was a fragrance that she created in his honor to kind of remember him by. And you can't buy this fragrance. This fragrance was actually a bunch of members in the community that were very close to him because he was, and I've talked about this before when I reviewed the scent, he was that person that was everyone's friend. His generosity, his kindness, his light, even though he was in a very dark place, his light was so bright, and he touched and had a huge impact in this community, and I miss him, and he was wonderful. And one of his dreams was to have a fragrance made, and so her doing this for him was very touching. And so the people in the community, we all kind of came together and we funded this project, and all the profits, like every single profit, went to his family. So it was kind of like the community's way of giving back, and she definitely ate that cost so that she could do that for him and his family. It's just, the fragrance is a beautiful scent. Let's just remove all the sentimentality and just the heart of the scent. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous amber. But definitely is another one that I cherish, and I would wear that one all the time, but that's kind of a memorial scent I have to a friend of mine, and just, it's tough. Okay, took a little minute there. Hi, welcome back. The next two I have are, this is She. So I have a little travel of She. This one usually goes in my bag. I do love it. And this next one is Aria. Is it right? Aria and F. I don't know what the hashtag is for music. I'm really bad. But it's a gorgeous, complex fragrance. I love it. Absolutely love it. It is beautiful. So the other ones I have, I really love, and I do wear a lot of, but I'm not going to spend as much time talking about them, so this video isn't like 30 minutes long. So I have Orca, ridiculously gorgeous ambergris. If you like ambergris, this is a beautiful fragrance to at least experience. Definitely recommend it. Then we have Devotion, love it. Albatross is such a unique aquatic. It's salty, it's dry, but it's still damp. Just smells like a marina, but like kind of like a, not an actual marina, which could smell a little fishy, really fishy, but kind of like the marinas you see in those movies where it's kind of foggy and cold, and the salt air is kind of kissing your skin. It's such a good fragrance. I really love it. Then we have Antimony. This one I wear a bunch. And Toukka Ta Tao. This was Timmy's fragrance. This is another like terribly successful fragrance. They work together on the scent, and it's just everything. It smells so good. It's like a tropical vacation. And I think it's so smart that they have that touch of durian in there, which I don't know if you guys have ever smelled or tried durian. It is an experience. I actually don't dislike durian. I don't think I could eat durian like at the fruit, but I've had some durian snacks like popsicles and ice cream and candy and like cookies, and it's actually pretty delicious. It's definitely an acquired taste, and I think a lot of people with Western palates are intimidated by it, but it's not as crazy rancid as people think. It's just an acquired taste. You have to eat it in the right form. It can be really strangely delicious. Kazimi, which is probably one of her most popular scents. It is a beautiful, beautiful rose. I find it to be just enchanting, and there's just something like very masculine about it that I really, really like. There's not a sweetness to it, it's just a clarity to that scent. Epiphany is another beautiful lavender fragrance from her. A little bit sweeter, a little bit more green, softer than Madrona. Just a really gorgeous scent. I do love this one. It's a very calming scent. During my fits of anxiety, which I'm known to have all the time, so I wear this one a bunch. I love to layer this with other scents too. It actually layers really well. Then we have Siren. Love that one. And then we have Black Sheep. I just recently reviewed this one. Such a unique and clever and just kind of really creative take on just that type of fragrance. The costus root is just really pronounced, and I love the idea of the black fleece tincture that she made. Amber V, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful amber scent. So gorgeous, so resinous, it's almost waxy. It's so good. I love it so much. And then we have Sex Magic, which is actually a beautiful woody aromatic scent. You can definitely feel yourself getting lost in a forest with this one. And then Sacre Noir, which to me is a literal translation of an enchanted forest with like gumdrop path, like on your way to a witch's house, like made of like gumdrops and like gingerbread. Ah, this one's so good. I love this one too. I need to buy a backup of this one. If it's still available, I don't even know, but it's just amazing. Anyway, that is my House of Matriarch fragrance collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of experience with natural perfumery and can be intimidated by it. I think natural perfumery is just absolutely fantastic. I am a huge fan of it. I think Christy does an excellent job of really creating some beautiful masterpieces that are wearable, unique, special, and just have her own creative like spin. I love what she does with scents. I've loved her stuff for years, and I look forward to giving her thousands more dollars of my money at this point. But just overall, definitely worth checking out the house. I would say if you guys wanted to kind of delve into the House of Matriarch and just kind of maybe like buy a few samples or maybe go out of your way to try some of the scents, definitely try Coco Blanc, Kazimi, The Longing. I would recommend those three. Those are excellent. If you're looking for more of a summertime vibe, Toukka Ta Tao is a substantial fragrance. It's really, really beautiful. So I definitely recommend checking out those four out of all of them. You can try She. I don't know if it's available on our site anymore. I know Beverly Hills Perfumery has some, so definitely if you're interested in She, check it out there. But just overall, I love her stuff, and if you wanted to try it, I definitely recommend checking it out. So that is my House of Matriarch fragrances, guys. Hope you like this video. I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you a fan of Christy's fragrances? Are you not a fan? I just love to know what you guys think, good or bad. Let me know in the comment section below. So you guys know I am just a super fan of her stuff, and I'm looking forward, again, like I said earlier, to giving her way more of my money. In any case, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.